All right, go for it.
Get too excited. Just want to just go. Like I got my notes and everything like ready. Um, but so tonight we wanted to go over something a little different with nutrition. So instead of going over just our products, we wanted to go into why our products what they're going to help. And so we know that our products are really going for that gut health, and we throw around gut health, gut health, gut health. But do we really know what our gut does for our body? Like everything it does, because it's not just sort of absorbing that little bit of nutrition from our vitamins or our foods, but it's helping sort of really take over your entire body and keeping it healthy. So our gut microbiome starts from the time we leave out of the womb, and it starts to grow and get diversified. And everybody's gut health, their gut microbiome is a little different depending on how you grew up, the foods that you grew up eating, what you're exposed to. And that's why we see sort of all these different people looking a little bit different and being able to handle foods differently, even because the bacteria that is in your gut is a little different for everyone. And so where having a healthy gut is super important is because it's sending signals to the rest of your body. And so some of the things that our gut is doing, that biome is helping to digest the fibers that we're eating. It helps to control your immune system. And even newer research is saying that we have an even bigger connection between our gut and our brain. And so it's also helping with our heart health. And when we start to get too much of an unhealthy gut, so too much of that bad bacteria compared to that good bacteria, is where we start to get that really big off balance and can lead to having some mental health issues. It can lead to diseases. And so having an unhealthy biome can lead to weight gain, even, and IBS, bloating, all of those things that we know that Thrive helps because it's helped us, but it's sort of sometimes hard to put together like why it's actually helping. And so when we grow up eating the fast food, eating those like really easy meals, which aren't always the healthiest, but they're easy, the chicken nuggets, like the processed food, starts to gunk up your gut. And how I like to think of it is in a garden. So we always talk about planting seeds. But in a garden, you have like some of those hoses that you can run through it that have the little holes poked through. Well, if you fill it up with some dirt and some gunk, it's not going to let that water go through and to fertilize everything and to water everything. And so as we are cleaning our gut out, we're cleaning all that dirt out of our gut, and all of those vitamins are really being able to get out and to get to the rest of our body to start doing what it's supposed to do. And so our guts helping to control like blood sugar, and it can help to lower the risk of diabetes because it's helping you to regulate your blood sugar. um, the gut is also the bacteria that it's producing hundreds of neurochemicals. So the chemicals that we use in our brain are first being produced in our gut and then sent up to our brain. And so if you have a gunked up gut, it's not really going to send some good signals up there. Um, and so one of the biggest neurochemicals that's being sent up to your brain is serotonin. So something that I know we talk a lot about with all of our 3 steps, our black labels, our TAC, is the serotonin that we're also adding in. And so as we're cleaning our gut out, we're cleaning it out that it can start producing more. It produces about 95% of our serotonin. So imagine having a gunked up serotonin coming through. It's not going to make you very happy. Um, and so as we're cleaning that up and getting it to where it can really produce and really do the things, there's been studies showing that have shown people with various like psychological disorders and like depression and all of this, that their gut biome is a little bit more unhealthy compared to people who don't quite feel some of those like the depression, the if I just said the word and I can't say it again. But as we look at the different biomes in people's guts, we start to put together, oh, this person's struggling with weight loss. Well, their gut biome, it sort of tells the tale of you can't hide from it. You can say that you're having a healthy diet, but your gut is going to really tell us what type of diet you're having. And so I don't know if Dakota has anything to add on to our gut health.
That was really good. Sorry, my kid is like running wild. So yeah, that's pretty much like all I had written down. I mean, I just had like, gut health. It refers to like the balance of our microorganisms that live in our digestive tract. So, for a good detox, taking prebiotics, fiber, eating less, sugars, avoid taking antibiotics unnecessarily. Like James, he had fallen into like a septic tank at one point, and I was reading, sorry, he's in here. I was reading that the difference between antibiotics and like the prebiotics, and prebiotics is giving you, hold on.
So antibiotics
Run my dog over.
antibiotics are like killer probiotics. They're like the killer. They're gonna kill everything. Okay, they're gonna kill the bad. They're gonna kill the good.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Like the antibiotics are gonna kill everything, and then the prebiotics or the probiotics is going to kill. Plus, it's also going to build your immune system, and it's going to give you that good bacteria, because there is a such thing as good bacteria and bad bacteria. You have to have that balance. And when we kill the bad or the good bacteria, and you only have bad bacteria, your whole body is just gonna feel off track, and you're going to get sick more, and just a lot of things. So just remember, there's a good thing such as good bacteria and bad bacteria. So that's all I had, and I pretty much had, that our serotonin is also produced in our gut, and like when you're eating our cheat meals, right, or fast food or something that's not good for our gut, we feel like blah, right? You just don't feel like you want to do anything. You just feel really bad. Sorry. So that's why it's really important to, keep a healthy diet. I mean, we slip up, but just remember there's a good thing as bad bacteria and good bacteria, and that's all I had. She pretty like
I was
pretty much nailed it.
I was gonna back up what y'all said about the serotonin. So we keep talking about how it's for gut health, and that the serotonin levels are our levels come from our gut, 95% of it. So serotonin helps regulate everything, y'all. It helps regulate your sleep cycle, your eating cycle, and your digestion. When people have deficiency in serotonin, that relates to, like she said, mental health issues. And so with mental health issues, with depression, you're having abnormal levels of serotonin and all your neurotransmitters, like Jordan said. But by having a better gut, you could help, so your mental clarity and everything could benefit from that. Sleeping better, like I said, eating better. When you're depressed, what do? I know what I do. I eat like crazy. But that's because my serotonin levels are out of balance. But it's just so vitally important to have a really good gut health. And honestly, before Thrive, I had no idea what the hell gut health was. I was just doing whatever. I didn't take vitamins or anything. But doing all the research in these nutrition Zooms, oh my God, I could just go on about how beneficial everything is for your body.
Mm-hmm. So I saw Rachel, you have your little hand thing up.
Yes. I just wanted to say that just to add on, so this is kind of totally irrelevant, but it kind of goes along with what you're saying. So, and some people might have children with autism on here, but in the autism community, some people think that they can heal children with autism, specifically with nutritional imbalance of the gut, because they call this leaky gut syndrome. So you can't cure autism, but you can greatly improve symptoms of behavioral problems, lashing out. You can greatly improve a lot of symptoms, just their communication, their just ability to be calm. And I think that's a really big point. I actually was thinking about going live with that one day, because we talk about all the time in like the autism community that you can greatly improve your child by these diets of removing, those food sensitive things like gluten or casein, or which is impossible in our house. We've tried, but I think it's such a big topic in certain, like Brittany, she's, in nursing school. So she's reading about it. She's reading about serotonin, but like the general public, people have no idea how important gut health is for their entire body. And I really want to encourage people to do a little bit of your own research, watch a couple of the Zooms on nutrition and gut health, and even to go live about it, on your page. I was even thinking about doing that myself. So that's really all I wanted to add was it definitely helps.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
And I also want to add too, that it's good for our skin too. Like our skin is our largest part of our organ, right? So when our gut is, got that bad stuff in it and we're not, cleansing it or whatever, our skin is also going to get affected by it too. We're not, supposed to say it cures like eczema, acne, or whatever, but it's going to help improve that. So just think of, a different way of saying it. But
Studies have shown that it helps.
It really is like a second brain. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah. No, your gut, like what Gabby was just saying, is pretty much your second brain, but it's like all of these things, you can find papers and research on showing these different connections. So I know Tracy has her hand up. I didn't know that they had different colored hands that you could put up.
I didn't either. I don't know why mine is brown. I have no idea. Not a clue. But I have two things I want to say. I can attest to the fact, I don't know, Rachel, if you have started your boys on the Thrive experience yet, but we did with Ryan, and we have seen a huge, monumental change in the frequency of his meltdowns and the severity of them. He's better able to communicate. Like everything is easier for him. Does he still have autism? Yes. Does he still have sensory disorder? Yes. But it is far easier now to deal with those things because of that. And we knew that was a real thing very early on, because our other son is very, very sensitive to dairy. If he has even 1 cup of milk, his meltdowns are huge. His hyperactiveness is massive. His sensory disorder goes like in overdrive. Like everything is just so much worse whenever he has any sort of dairy. So we already kind of knew that the gut health would be like a huge thing. So as soon as Ryan said that he was okay with taking it, we got him on it, and we've seen a huge change. Also, I have a really hard time not talking about how Thrive helps so much with postpartum, because I know for a fact what it has done for me. Now, the reason why I had postpartum is because I've gone my entire life as being diagnosed as having a chemical imbalance where my body simply does not produce enough serotonin. Had anybody at any point in time ever said, a lot of that is produced in your gut, let's work on your gut health, my entire life would be different. So whenever we say,
if I knew that beforehand, yeah.
Right. Like I got put on Prozac when I was 11 years old.
Right. I've been on everything in the book. Yep.
Yeah, it was not even approved for children. Like you were not supposed to have it if you were under the age of 18. And I was placed on Prozac whenever I was 11 years old. I was on multiple different antidepressants, SSRIs, all of that stuff throughout my entire childhood. I was not able to deal with the traumas and things like that I should have been able to deal with, because I was so zombified by all the medications and all of those things, when simply correcting my gut health could have done wonders. Would it have cured anything? I don't know, because I don't have a time machine. However, I know that the reason why I slipped into postpartum when I did is because my body was so depleted. My gut had nothing to contribute. You know what I mean? I had nothing in my body to contribute, because I had baby after baby after baby after baby. So I slipped very easily into that mindset, which is why within the first 2 weeks of taking Thrive, I had 0 symptoms. People are always like, what? It's impossible that it cures that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, if you have postpartum depression because of your brain, maybe. But I had postpartum depression because of my gut. I had postpartum depression because my body was not given what it needed to be given. So whenever you give your body what it needs, that changes. So it's not going to work for everybody like that. But I would start being very vocal. Like Rachel, you said you're going to do a live. Don't wait. Do that live today. Go live, make a post, talk about the correlation between gut health and mental health, because nobody knows that. Nobody is walking around on this earth like, oh my gosh, you know what? I bet my depression is from my gut health. Like, it just doesn't happen. Nobody is told that at all.
And the other thing about, about backing it up, if people ask you about it, you can Google evidence-based nursing articles, and they'll go into detail about how having gut health improves everything. So instead of just going to Google and Googling serotonin, you can go to Google and type in evidence-based nursing research on serotonin, and it will give you tons of research evidence that backs it up. So if somebody wants to ask you if you want to do your own research before you go into doing a live, I know I did a live a while back about serotonin, but I definitely agree with Tracy. I would definitely go live and talk about that, because gut health, again, is so stinking important.
No, that's why we wanted to do this one, because it's like before starting Thrive, before starting the nutrition Zooms, like nobody ever talked to me about gut health. Like I've had weight issues my entire life of not being able to lose weight easily. And it's just like, since fixing gut health and working on gut health, even though I ate a healthy diet still, like has made all the difference. And so that's one thing that I love, is that Thrive is going for that gut health. It's not going for like the mood support and the weight management and all this. Is going to your gut, which then takes care of the rest. And that's why I always like make sure to mention that it's not a weight loss product, but a weight management. It does what your body needs. It talks to your gut, and your gut's not going to lie to your body. It's going to do what it needs. And so that's why we're thinking of what to do. And it's just like, we've gone over so many of the products, and I love all of our products, but it's just like understanding why they work so well is because they go to the root cause. They're not here to cover this up or here to cover this up. Like, let's just fix this tiny little screw instead of fixing the whole entire machine. So
yeah, and that's what I focus on a lot too, because I don't have like a weight loss journey, or I'm skinny, I'm tiny, I'm small, I'm 5'2", and so that's what I focus on a lot, is just saying literally whatever your body is needing is what the whole system is going to do for your body. And I add in there too, joint relief, a good gut health, and the energy. And if you need weight loss, then your body's gonna give you that. If you need weight gain, then your body's gonna give it to you. It's like so cool, like how our bodies work. Like it is, I don't know, it's crazy. I love it. But go ahead, say.
Yeah. Go, Tracy.
Haley was saying that her IBS-C is like gone, like she's not suffering from those symptoms anymore. And I think lots of autoimmune issues are caused in the gut. We already know that. That's science. So whenever you're fixing the gut health, it's not that Thrive is curing anything. It's that you're fixing your gut health. Your body is doing what it's supposed to do. So for me, I have what is called a redundant colon, which means that the elasticity in my colon, you know how it's like little sausage links, whatever, I don't have the elasticity in there. This system is not going to improve the elasticity in my gut, right? Like it's not going to do that. It doesn't. If we could come up with a product that does that, that will save me from having a very difficult, very complicated surgery later on in life, because I'm going to eventually have to have that. However, the symptoms that I dealt with every single day from that condition, which is hereditary, it's not something that I can ever get around, right? The symptoms that I dealt with from that are gone. They don't exist anymore. So that has given me more of my life back. I don't have to go and be bedridden for 3 months after having this surgery and then having a colostomy bag and all of that stuff, right? It has given me more years on my life the way that it is versus having to have this drastic, insane surgery that I'm eventually going to have when I'm in my 30s, like my mom had to have, like my grandfather had to have, right? So there's so many things that people just do not realize tie into this. That's why it's so important to get to know your people. I understand the excitement whenever somebody messages you and they're like, oh my gosh, I totally need energy. Like, I want to buy this stuff. Get to know them first. Don't just let them jump straight to loading their cart, right? Have that conversation. Talk to them about their struggles every single day. Ask them about their bathroom trips. Ask them about their day-to-day, like sleep habits, their mood, their energy, all of those things. Ask about all of that so that you can full circle help them, right? It's really easy to be like, oh, I need energy. Okay, I don't need energy anymore. I'm going to stop doing this. It's a lot less likely that somebody in my condition or Haley's condition, when we've had all of this help, I'm not going anywhere. If this company goes under tomorrow, I'm like black market buying my Thrive, right? Like, it's happening. I am not stopping thriving. I don't care. The DFT could literally like burn through my arm and like my arm fall. I'm still thriving. It's happening. I'm going to become part robot. I don't care. You know what I mean? So there, and that's a huge difference. Now that I've experienced it, I don't care the price. I don't care what I got to do. It's happening. And that's a huge difference because it helps so much with things that I never thought that it would do. Don't let people walk around on your social media not knowing what it can do, right? I had no clue what it could do for me, or else I would have started forever ago. Like, could y'all imagine if I was able to go to the bathroom ever for the last 7 years before I actually started thriving? Do you know how much better my quality of life would have been? It's insane.
No,
and things as simple as
no, you go for it, Gabby.
And things as simple as that is like going to the bathroom. Talk to your people if they're struggling going to the bathroom. I mean, for your digestive system to just show you guys or tell you guys the importance of it. Our digestive system starts at our saliva. Our saliva kicks off our digestive mechanism, right? From the absorption in our mouth all the way down our esophagus, all the way down into your stomach, then your intestines. Everything is processing through. So our vitamins are pulling all of that stuff. Talk to your people, see if they're going to the restroom. It's things as little as that. See what their sleep patterns are. You can also tell how their digestion is depending on their sleep patterns. So many things like skin. I just saw Tracy's picture the other day where, or was it today or was it yesterday, where her skin is so different, and that's all also digestive. That's also your nutrients, what's in your stomach, what you're putting into your body, what you're putting, what you're bringing in. It plays a key role into everything.
No, it's so true. And it's just like, I don't think a lot of people realize how much your gut helps. And I know that's something that I want to start talking about more, is more, not particularly Thrive, but just gut health. And so it can sort of transition into how Thrive helps with that. But if they don't understand that gut health is important, us saying that it helps with your gut health really doesn't mean anything to them. It's just like, oh, my gut's there. It's in my body. Like, it's not going to do, doesn't put anything to it. And they don't realize that some of the problems, like some people think going number 2 restroom like once or twice a week is normal, when it's just like, you should be doing that like on a daily. Like, I've met people that they're like, that's not normal. And it's just like, no, it's not. And it's just like, some people get on medicine to help them with that. I have one friend that I've been talking to that I think Thrive would help her so much, and she's trying medicine for help with that first. And I'm like, let me know if you want to not be on medicine. So it's just like, just talking about what your gut actually does. And I mean, from just the little bit of research that I've done and sort of been looking into it more, like, you can have tons of posts on just gut health, because there's so many different little aspects to what it does. And so I don't know if anybody else has anything they would like to add, because I could go on forever. Yes, Haley.
So there's also a flip coin to that too. I'm not sure if you guys if you come across anyone that is on metformin,
Mhm.
that is a diabetic medication that is given to some people with like PCOS, prediabetes,
Someone else
because
gave me that too.
it helps regulate hormone levels. Well, in return, it tears your gut apart. Meaning like you can go to the restroom and you're going number 2, but it sounds like you're going number 1. Like it tears your gut apart, and it's like you can't work out. You can't be far from the bathroom. So I wanted to kind of do kind of like a PSA. If you come across someone that's on that, just know their struggles. It affects everyone. Like I'm in my PCOS group, and that there'll be people in there. Well, I'm getting put on metformin. What do I need? What's the info I need to know? And people are like, take Benefiber with it. Make sure you eat with it. Don't go far from the bathroom. Like these women are literally suffering because they don't have an option. I was on 2,000 milligrams, which is like more than most diabetics take, and it was brutal. So there is also a flip side to that. Like some people struggle with constipation, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that are struggling with the opposite, and it's just as miserable. Like just your gut hurts. I mean, because it's not processing anything. It's literally just going straight through. So I just wanted to put that out there in case you guys do run across a diabetic
Mhm.
and you ask what medications they're on. If they say metformin, they need Thrive big time, because their gut is literally like raw.
Mhm. No, that was something when I first learned that I had PCOS, that they're like, they wrote down what it was on a piece of paper. They're like, look this up, and called a week later. They're like, we're going to prescribe this for you. And I'm like, go away. I didn't know that it does like all of that to your gut, but I was like, go away. We're going to try something else before medicine, which I'm thankful that I did, now learning some more about it. But it's just like, with that having to go all the time, like that's no fun being near the restroom. Then yeah, I was at least not to the point that I had to take it. So I had another thing that came into my mind. I can't think of it now.
How about this? If you take anything away from this Zoom tonight, you need to just get your gut straight, because your whole entire body will benefit from having a healthy gut, y'all. The health benefits from having a good gut is just endless. So just take that home, keep your gut straight, and keep thriving.
And a healthy lifestyle, nutrition, like just watch what you eat, slip up, that just also has a lot to do with it too. Add that in there.
And if you need tips, we have a lifestyle insider group that will give you all the tips and tricks, just so you guys have the extra help.
I was just about to say that every single person needs to be sharing that group, because that group is spearheaded by Haley and Gabby, who we both just heard from about gut health and the importance of it and all that stuff. Plus, also, I see like most of everybody's posts pretty regularly, and I've probably only seen like 10 posts about gut health. So like I know I've never posted about it. I've talked about it on a live once. We all need to, that's like the main thing that this is doing, right? But we all like forget. Like we're like, the energy is great. Oh my gosh, I love the energy. We need to be talking about the gut health, man. Like, let's go talk about that for a bit.
No, I agree with that completely. So, May goals, talking about gut health a whole lot more. And from now on, talking about gut health, just so more people are aware of that they have other options, that it's not just this forever, that they can do something that's not medicine. They can take a vitamin that they can get for free and make money from and feel their best. So I think we could probably go on and on about gut health because it's so amazing. But if anybody has anything else to add before we head off, if not, you can always ask in Thrive Army and we can visit any other gut health issues. Not. Thanks everybody for joining us. Now we got to go tell all the other people that did not join us how awesome of a Zoom that they missed. But y'all have a great night.